All right, in chapter 45, we're looking at population and community ecology. So we're not at the biggest level, we're kind of in this mid level. In 46, we'll go up to the bigger level. So population and community ecology is really like looking at how the field next to your house is structured, those sorts of things. So in section 1, we're going to look at demography, which is describing populations. So we're going to look at how ecologists measure population size and density. You're going to be able to use life tables to calculate mortality rates. You're going to describe the 3 types of survivorship curves and relate them to specific populations. In my ecology class in college, we did this really cool study that I just want to share with you real quick before we hop on down about mortality rates. So we actually went to a graveyard. This was in Buffalo, New York, and we went to a graveyard that had a bunch of tombstones from the turn of the century, and we recorded like how long people lived. And then we were able to compare that with like more recent graves, and then we had a good discussion about like childhood mortality rates and the importance of vaccines and extending childhood life and survival. And so that was super interesting to me. I don't think you guys get to do that, although if you take an ecology class, you might. All right, on to the next section. So section 2, we're going to talk about life histories and natural selection. So you're going to look at life history patterns. We're thinking like K-selected and R-selected are the terms that you might need to know. And then we're going to figure out how different reproductive strategies affect species survival. In section 3, we're going to look at environmental limits to population growth. Specifically, you're going to look at the difference between exponential and logistic growth patterns and describe how natural selection and environmental adaptation lead to the evolution of these life history patterns. I do want to flag in this section that sometimes folks take this type of discussion as a way to say things like we need population control in humans, or, you know, we need to weed all the dumb people out. I wish that I was not saying that, but that is literally what people say. And so I just want to flag, like, this discussion is limited to animals, and humans, we are technologically advanced enough and smart enough to actually support the people that are reproducing. And also when we talk about like limiting birth or like preventing some people from reproducing, that is straight up eugenics and Hitler and Nazism, and that's bad, and we don't want that, right? So eugenics bad. Reasonable discussions about human populations are fine. Eugenics bad. All right, soapbox gone. On to the next section. So section 4, we're going to talk about population dynamics and regulation. So you're going to learn about something called a carrying capacity, which is how much a particular location can support, how much life a particular location can support. You're going to look at density-dependent growth regulation and density-independent growth regulation, exponential and logistic growth in wild animals, and then how natural selection and adaptation lead to the evolution of life history patterns. In section 5, we're going to talk about human population growth. So clearly I got ahead of myself 30 seconds ago. Read the chapter, it'll be fine. Section 6, we're going to talk about community ecology. So like predator-prey interactions, you'll have some cool paper summaries there. Competitive exclusion, symbiotic relationships, community structure, and succession. And then rounding out this chapter is just a nice little interlude, I guess, on behavioral biology. So like why animals behave the way they do, how we've learned about innate and learned behavior, movement and migration, mating displays, courtship behaviors, and different ways that species learn. So I love that section. I love this chapter. I think you'll have fun with it. If not, I'll see you in the next one.